Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 25 of Deep in the Novo. I'm Ryan Novozinsky, joined here by my co-host Sudeep Tumma, and today we're going to be talking about OSU's 85-65, a 20-point victory for the Cowboys over the Texas Southern Tigers, and Michael Weathers returning to Gallagher-Iba Arena for the first time in, I believe 2 years or something like that. But yeah, what an interesting return for him. That wasn't even as big of a storyline as maybe I thought it would be coming in, but he had the most minutes for them. But his team loses to OSU, obviously. And it came on the hands, Sudeep, of obviously we'll talk about the defense. We'll get into that in a second. We'll get into Rondell Walker. I want to talk about the shooting and how much that improved this night. I mean, my goodness, OSU, I believe the stat was them and UT Arlington, they combined for 5 for 20 to start the game in shooting, and that was terrible. And then it didn't even improve that much. But my goodness, this past game, they tremendously improved shooting from 41.7% from the field, and then from the field in general, 45.8%. And my goodness, what an improved shooting performance from this OSU Cowboys team.
I said after the first game that I thought they shot really well in the sense of they took really good looks. Obviously, they didn't knock down, and it's a bad shot when it does go in, supposedly. But the thing is, you take good looks. You do, especially when you're Mike Boynton. And last year, you just didn't have guys who could hit wide open threes. Now it's really everywhere. Not only did you bring in the 3-point shooters, let's just start with the base. You have two guys, Avery Anderson and Isaac Likely, who could not hit threes last year.
Right.
Especially Isaac Likely. Because at least Avery Anderson was really good from mid-range, especially that pull-up near the free throw line. But this year, those two have a much better shooting motion. They're confident. They're taking them when they're open. Even a little contested, they're taking them. Confidently, they're taking them whenever. And they can still break down defenses, and it's helping this team. It's helping their own game. Then the guys you brought in, Farron Flavors Jr., he hit a couple in the first game. He was even better. I think 3 for 5 from 3 this game. And Rondell Walker, oh my God. I said it. When I watched a PC West game, you saw Rondell Walker, and his two best assets, I would say, are his ability to create steals, turnovers, his defense, and then his 3-point shooting. He was an excellent 3-point shooter. Shot 40+%, whatever it was, but also from range. Had very good form. That's what I love most about Rondell Walker when I watched him. His form. It was Klay Thompson-esque in the sense of what Klay does really well is, this is something, I mean, I don't know how he does this, that when he catches the ball, he doesn't dip it down. Just think about it. Anytime you play pickup basketball, you catch a catch and shoot, you catch a pass and you're about to shoot, you'll dip it down below your hips almost, or just below your waist a little bit, and then you'll rise up and shoot it. Rondell Walker catches and puts it up. That's difficult. That takes a lot of practice. Rondell does that. He hits threes like that. And then overall, just, you know what Keelan Boone's going to give you from beyond the arc. Cade Cunningham has proven. I mean, I thought he was a really good shooter in high school. I kept saying this. Even the first podcast, we said this. Cade Cunningham was so smart. Is so smart.
Yeah.
In high school, he's this big guy who can just get to the rim at will. He's so talented, so strong, so savvy. Why would he pull up from 3 when he can get to the rim every time and either score or draw double and pass? But he had good form. He had good mechanics. He's able to hit them. He would hit them whenever people would dare him and try to back off 5, 6, 7 feet. And he's doing it again in college. He's getting open looks, smart looks. But then when he needs to, he hits them. And he's taking control of the game. But yeah, the threes, that's where you start with. Before I get ahead of myself, the 3-point shooting was excellent. It's giving this team more, especially when you're made up the way they are. They're made up not like last year. You had some low post presence. You had guys who were kind of moving around who could do multifaceted things, pull up off the dribble. You're made with this drive and kick kind of team where you don't really have it. It's more like the Houston Rockets-ish, but you have that. You know how you have Matthew Alexander-Moncrief. Caleb Boone's still trying to struggle to find his footing. But you have Matthew Alexander-Moncrief who can score down low. You have a little bit there, here and there. But most of your guys are guards who can hit threes, who can dribble, drive, penetration. That's your game plan. Once you start hitting the threes, that changes everything. When Cade Cunningham goes in the paint, you can't double him. You want to bring weak side help? He finds a 3-point shooter from everywhere. It just changes the dynamic, and it gets his team to where I believe they can be.
I 100%. And this is a team right after the game the other day against UT Arlington. Mike Boynton, he was talking and going on about how he wants this team to improve from 3-point shooting, and I agree with you. I think you saw the signs of that, the early signs of that during the UT Arlington game, where while yes they didn't shoot as well percentage wise and stats wise, but you look beyond it, and my goodness, like the fact that they made them in this game, it
just shows.
It shows. It proves that, right? And maybe that was just some first game rust. I don't know, but they just were not landing the other day against UT Arlington, but against Texas Southern, really just working out tremendously for the OSU Cowboys.
And besides the guys I didn't mention, Bryce Williams is a good shooter. And then you have Donovan Williams, who is an elite shooter in Nebraska, and he's got to change his role. He was a 28-point per game scorer who really needed to learn to adjust, which he has. He's playing defense. Like, he played a lot of big defense in the sense of he played a lot of the 4 and 5 in school, but now he's learning to play like that role player kind of role. And maybe in a year or 2 or 3, he starts to take over. But you have different guys who are doing different things, and you have a bunch of shooters around, and it's working so well for OSU right now. And Bryce Williams only going to get better and better. He almost didn't play this game, and I'm excited to see what he does. But yeah, overall, it was a good performance for sure.
Yeah, and I love like this offensive attack for OSU. I mean, this dribble drive penetration you talk about, this motion, what they're able to do out there on the court is phenomenal, right? And I think it plays tremendously to especially these guards. I mean, you look at Isaac Likely, you look at Cade Cunningham, what they are able to do in addition to some of these pseudo big men, if you want to call them that, out there. I think it's the perfect play style for these guys. And how did you think this worked? Obviously, we saw how it worked against UT Arlington, but how did you think this worked in game number 2 against Texas Southern?
With the big man, you saw Caleb Boone. I mean, like I said, he's still struggling.
He's coming into his own. He'll get there.
Yeah, he's still almost struggling to find his own compared to last year. Because a lot of times he was the guy where you'd watch Yornet and they struggle, and you'd be like, yeah, get Caleb Boone in the game. He's really putting it together, but Yornet wasn't. Now it's almost like a flip script. But again, I'm not throwing away Caleb Boone at all. I still think he's a tremendous player.
No.
But I think he's still finding that a little bit. He's gotten foul trouble. He hasn't been able to get in rhythm at all. But I think he's going to. I think where he really can excel is in that pick and roll game with Cade Cunningham, where this guy is so athletic. He's a rim runner for sure. And I think he really shined on the defensive end because you saw 3 blocks where that's where they're going to really need him. This team, for all the things I keep saying about how they can, it's not a problem that they have a lack of big men because they can still double. They can play team defense, help defense, like teams do in 2020, right? Team defense is so much more important than individual defenders. So you can pair up. If you go in the post, you front it, and then you drop back a little bit. You can do that 100%. And on rebounding, you have the personnel who can box out and, as a team rebound, not just one guy, not just 2 guys. But you can never replicate the rim protecting, no matter what you do. You can't climb on your teammate's shoulders and try to block a play, right? I mean, obviously no one would think of doing that. But that's not what you're aiming for. It's just you're not going to have that element. But Caleb Boone is the closest guy. I mean, I think he's a good guy, and I think he's a good rim protector. I forget the exact number was. He had a good per 40-minute last year. And he's a good rim protector. You saw it here. And he gets up there. Obviously, he's athletic. He's got a good vertical. And I think that's kind of the one place you lack. Besides that, these guys are really coming in their own. Matthew Alexander-Moncrief once again showed you what he can do. The monster's dunk. Again, scoring near the post, rebounding, high motor. That's what you like to see. Bernard Como was there.
Yeah.
I really think he only played minutes because they were playing Texas Southern, but hopefully he can develop into something down the road. But yeah, that's
put some respect on the man's name, okay? What's wrong with you?
Bernard.
I love that guy, right? He put some numbers up, right? He got some minutes there. I believe he had a point, or he had 2 points, I believe. So good for him. And yeah, I liked what I saw out of him. But like you said, I mean, back to reality. Let's talk about what these guys were able to do. I mean, I like what you said there about being able to protect at the rim. That is so crucial. And defend at the rim. That is so crucial for what Caleb Boone's able to do. Matthew Alexander-Moncrief too. And definitely, Rondell Walker, both defensively and offensively the other day, he was the star of the show at Gallagher-Iba Arena.
No doubt.
Where did this come from?
I've been saying I think he's a bona fide scorer. I was surprised that he wasn't talked up more over the offseason by Mike Boyne and his coaching staff. He is an elite defender. He plays hard. He wants to buy in on defense. He loves defense. There are guys who are good defenders because they're physical tools and just lateral quickness and God-given gifts. But there are guys who want to play defense, who lock down, who want to. Rondell Walker is one of those guys. He like I just talked about the shooting, but let's get to defense. He he is so savvy. His anticipation is great. When the ball is exposed just a little bit, he is able to attack it. He's able to create steals. That's what makes him so good. Attacking passing lanes, when a guy is dribbling. Then on offense, when you watch him in high school, he's probably not going to play his role because of all the guys they have, and it's Division I basketball. But you saw the full package. With the ball in his hands, he is able to operate in the pick and roll game. He's able to pull up on a dime, hit in the mid-range. He's able to get to the rim and be crafty. He's got a looseness. He's got the Euro steps, the side steps. He's got the package. You saw some of that against Texas Southern, right? You saw some of the moves. You saw the not crazy strength, obviously. He's still skinny, but he's got deceptive strength. That's one of the things about him. Then what I really love is off the ball. This guy's a true combo guard.
Yeah, he's great.
Right, and you see him when he doesn't have the ball. First off, he's like a point guard. Where he doesn't have the ball, he's still calling out plays. He's still directing the offense because he's a true point guard. But he's also a true combo guard. He can play that too because A, he can shoot. But B, he can he can move without the ball so well. You see him, he's so athletic, obviously. He's got a high motor. He's constantly playing hard. And you see him move without the ball. I remember there's one play that really resonates in my head when he was at PC West. He was cutting one way, had his hand moving that way, and the guy's kind of on him, the defender. Then suddenly, Rondell just darts the other way, gets wide open. It's these sort of things he understands so well. His IQ is very high, and he's really got the full package. And his motor, we always talk about Matthew Alexander Moncrief's motor. When you saw Rondell, he plays hard. That's what you love. The effort, the intensity. That's the type of thing you love. Man, Rondell's a talented guy. I think he can do so much more. And first off, it's not easy. It's as easy as it seems to, oh yeah, this guy can hit difficult shots. Yeah. He can hit contested threes. He can hit range threes. So just as a simple catch and shoot thing, he should be able to do that. No, it's not. So guys who have the ball in their hands a lot, guys who are volume shooters, who are volume ball handlers, for them to adjust to a different role where they are just pure catch and shoot, guys who are just on the outside who are playing off of other guards, playing off of other ball handlers, that's a difficult thing to adjust to. The quicker you can do it, the better, because it makes you more versatile. But it's not easy. It really isn't. And not everyone's like that. Not everyone's Steph Curry who's able to, play off ball. Not everyone's able to do that. Some guys are LeBron and Kyrie. It's tough like that. But Rondo seems to have adjusted to that. And obviously he's played with Cade. He's played with that talented AAU team down in Texas. Yeah. And he's got, like I said, he's got the full package. He is so talented, and I'm excited for him.
I was going to ask you this. So when it comes to Rondell Walker, right, one of the things that sticks out to me is exactly what you said there, his deceptive strength. Because you look at this guy, you look at him, and he looks like a twig, right? He literally is just the skinniest guy out there. But then when you break it down, you look at him like with some of these Euro steps, right? And when he's able to go down low and drive in, it's really deceptively strong, right? Sure. And he's able to play with the confidence down there. How important do you think that will be with his development going forward, right? And how he'll be able to develop in this offense?
As you keep going level to level, from high school to Division I to Power 5, if you start lower, to the NBA, strength is the most important thing. The further you keep going down, the more it isn't just about your athleticism, the ability to be elusive and escape guys, but your ability to finish through contact.
Right.
And even in college basketball, where it's not a necessity, we saw Trae Young, we've seen Frank Mason, we've seen a lot of Big 12 guards be able to do without that. But look at Cade Cunningham. Look at anyone. Your ability to finish through traffic just puts you on another level. And as he gets stronger, but even right now, deceptive strength, his ability to finish through contact is going to be so important. It's going to be a baseline, and it's going to really propel him forward.
Yeah, and that will be one of the key things going forward for Rondell Walker. And my goodness, like if this is an early sample size of what we'll be able to see from him for the next couple of years, watch out, Big 12. I mean, this is going to be one of the elite guards in the entire league. So kudos to him for this impressive performance the other day. Let me ask you this: when you look at the turnovers, right? It was cut in half in this game. What do you make of that? Because I mean, the other day we talked about it when it came to the defensive side of the ball and how that was the impact that had on the offensive side of the ball. How was Isaac Likely and Cade Cunningham, who had the most glaring, I guess, turnover improvement in this game? How do you think they were able to do that?
I said against UT Arlington, a lot of that came down to how well UT Arlington played defense. Right? Yeah, the way they were able to cut off weak side help, it was just so impressive. They were there, like you'd literally snap a finger and they're already there. That's one of the most impressive help defenses I've seen, and how well they doubled and everything. Against this team, obviously it wasn't the same intensity, but yeah, with Cade and Isaac Likely going in, with all these guys going in, it really started outside in, where you had those 3-point shooters. First off, those guys, right? You had Cade, Avery, Isaac Likely all hitting threes. then they would get in the paint and they were able to hit guys who were wide open because Texas Southern did double whenever the ball got on the post, whenever the ball got inside in the paint. But you had guys like Rondell and Farron Flavors and so on hitting threes, hitting outside shots, making plays. So it really changed the complexion of the defense. And also just the understanding of it's almost like a wake-up call at times, right, with Cade Cunningham thinking, oh, yeah, wait, I'm at another level. It's one thing to say, yeah, I'm at another level. I know I'm going to be another level. I need to be more careful. And it's another thing to feel it, to feel that ball getting stolen, because that takes at you. It's one thing. I mean, I've done it before. It's one thing when you try to make a pass and the ball gets stolen. It sucks, but it really sucks when you're simply dribbling it and the ball gets stolen from you. That is the worst. It really is. And those are ones where coaches even will rather harp on the ones that you are dribbling and lose rather than the ones where you're trying to pass, because it's a big difference. There are two different turnovers. There are multiple turnovers.
Sure.
But that's the type of thing. And yeah, the turnovers definitely look better. The ball handling, it's still something that I think needs to be corrected a little bit, because some of them were not boneheaded, but they were a little bit bad. But it wasn't like Avery Anderson, just throwing it up and trying to get over someone and loses the ball several times. It wasn't so glaring and bad. There were definitely some things cut down. But again, playing Texas Southern, you take it with a grain of salt to some degree. But I think it was definitely better, and I think that's going to be a big thing going forward. The free throw shooting also looked a little better. A lot of aspects looked definitely better.
I think that when we told them last week to go to work on those two things in practice, I think they listened to us. Don't you think? I mean, who knows? I don't know, Mike Boynton. How you doing, by the way? If you are listening to this, this week in practice, what should OSU do this week in practice going into this next game that they have?
I think they should practice.
I think so too. No, but when it comes to like ball handling, stuff like that, I think that's definitely something that could be worked on, right? Sure. There's nothing really. I mean, it's a weird sample size against Texas Southern, right? To sort of see what they can work on. I mean, maybe it's I don't even know. But what do you see? Let's look. We talked about the offense a lot in depth. Let's talk about the defense and what they were able to do on that side of the ball, because I think that was another thing that was even more of a progressive thing during this game. They were able to win by 20 points, sure, but it was just a lot better. It looked like, and it still was good in the first game too.
Oh, I love the defense because it's not even the numbers I'm looking at, because again, it's Texas Southern.
Yeah.
Numbers are always going to be deceiving here, but it was the way OSU played defense. And they played well against UT Arlington. They rotated well when need be. But here they were playing just a different brand of defense, it looked like, where you saw it. It was from the very approach of when a ball handler was on the three-point line, you saw OSU not just be straight up in front of them, but they were just fronting them in the side of it's almost hard to say in words, where a guy would be there. Isaac Likely would almost be just forcing him to go one direction because you knew a help defender was there. And then as soon as the ball would get reversed, passed to a different place, the entire defense would shift and rotate as one.
Right.
And it was energized. It was so quick. Everyone, even Farron Flavors, who isn't the greatest defender on his team because he has so many talented defenders, everyone was buying in. Everyone was playing hard. And you saw it in zone defense. I don't think they played zone as much, but they played man for sure. And you saw those rotations. You saw the team move as one unit. You saw the way they doubled, put so much pressure on this defense. And those kind of things, not only do you play efficient defense because you get a lot of bodies to places, you also just get in the head of the defense of the offense, because you're just constantly like, oh, guys are coming everywhere. Where do I predict? Where do I throw it? I don't want to get a steal. I don't want to get a turnover. And that bites into your head. It does multiple things. And that was so impressive for OSU. And that's what I was so impressed with. The defensive intensity. It was just the rotations, the way they were moving. You just forget the ball, forget who's scoring. Again, it's Texas Southern. But just watch the rest of the defense. And it was so impressive. Watch the off ball, how they were all moving together. There were a few times where rotation was slipped up, guy would get wide open. But they were switching almost at some points they were switching everything. They were really on these guys. They were playing really good defense, really strong, really moving well, really off ball. That's where it started.
Yeah,
you do your work before the ball comes. You move your rotations around. You move as a unit, and then it makes your work so much easier, especially when you have a smaller team.
Yeah, and it looks we've used this example a million times, I feel like, but I will keep going back to it. Right, Scott Drew and what he's been able to build at Baylor.
Sure.
With sort of those. It is so nice looking that the way their defense moves as a unit, as a team, and if OSU can build that. And it already looks like they are. They're building it to a great degree, right? These players are moving sort of like and help defense and team defense. It's moving as one cohesive unit, and it's a great thing to see for Mike Boynton if he's able to build it like Scott Drew is at Baylor. Watch out.
And Mike Boynton has been preaching defense since day one. I said it last time, and I said it before, and I'll keep saying it. Last year, before Isaac Likely went down, they were, I think, top 50 in the nation in defense efficiency. That they're pretty much, I think they're up there right now. They are going to continue playing hard defense. They're going to force turnovers. They're going to play. They're going to, figure out whether they can press, whether they want to go 3/4, whether they just want to, slow you down a little bit by putting press, or just, hinge on you to harbor on you. They have the guys to do it. They have rotations. They have subs. They're deep. But it's gonna be interesting to see how they go about it. But obviously, Mike Boynton has been preaching defense, like you always talk about, defense on the back of the shorts, right? They're constantly doing that, and the defense is so important to this team. And at the core of it, I just truly believe. I mean, think about it. How many teams have we seen lack of offense, lack of firepower, just become better because of defense? And defense isn't just something you're talented with. You have to, hit tough shots or something.
Right.
It's an effort thing. Buy in, play hard, you play defense.
With all these high motor players, too, that we talked about today, you get that. Sure. You get that type of identity. And that's almost like a, you can't teach high motor, I guess.
Yeah.
But with this kind of culture, I feel
you
like
really can,
I feel like you're getting that. You're getting that from a lot of these players. And Mike Boynton he has a sixth sense for it looks like, and he's able to pinpoint that down and pick some of these players that are high motor. And you'll see that especially in OSU's next game against Marquette, which I'd say is probably outside of UT Arlington is definitely going to be their first big challenge of the season. Sudeep, let me ask you this. This could be a great question.
Sure.
Okay. This is a good question. Who's your favorite Marquette player of all time?
Well, I don't know many Marquette players.
No, you do. Come on, think about it. Think about it, man. We got Dwayne Wade. We got
course.
Jimmy Butler.
My mind just went to Marcus Howard.
We got John Morant. Or no. He's Murray State. Excuse me. I'm
Yep.
just an idiot. But mine's Dwayne Wade personally.
Yeah, I never watched him in college, but yeah, I would have to say Dwayne Wade based on his NBA career. Obviously, I was too little to watch him.
So was I.
But yeah, I think Dwayne Wade as well.
There you go. We got OSU has Marquette December 1st at 7 p.m. We will see how that goes down, and we will have all that coverage for you and all the other coverage, football, news, lifestyle, everything else sports-related for OSU. We've got it on Ocali.com, at Ocali on Twitter, and at Ocali Sports on Twitter. For Ryan Novozinsky and Sudeep Tumma, thank you so much for listening, and we will talk to you soon.